Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. And we have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it is a requested rematch between two of the best late game bots. It is going to be Caninana, the Zerg, taking on Ketroc, the Terran. So a classic humans versus bugs, but in this case, both of these are actually just bots going to be playing each other. I say just bots, but really they are phenomenal bots, both of these. And yes, they had a previously epic match, so I thought I'd do a rematch after reading your guys' comments. And yeah. So if you do enjoy these awesome bot matches, go ahead, click that like button. Ladies and gentlemen, if we can get one like for every leg on this crab beetle, that would be amazing. And then, yeah, just subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below, of course, saying more bots if you do want to see more of these bot matches. Those comments do actually help out a lot. And yeah, we have got a queen and a hatchery on the way for Caninana, but it's also had to pull a lot of drones against this bunker of Ketroc. The drones are attacking the bunker, doing some fancy footwork, and then actually canceling it. So that is a big deal, as Ketroc just up and floats away with its barracks, before it even produces a single Marine. It loses one SCV, and then notably the second SCV is just getting parked there. So while the rush has clearly been abandoned at this point, it would be good to see that SCV go home, and it actually does. So just one of the SCVs dying, and there's a command center on the way behind this, but Caninana, in its mind, there could very well still be danger. So we're seeing two spine crawlers building, a roach warren building, and this is some of the strength or weakness, depending on which side you look at it from, of the single proxy racks. It's something that Benbot has made or had great success with, and maybe making it a bit popular. As I'm not sure if Ketroc, I know it did it in the past, but I think it does it more now. So maybe Ketroc has explored with that build. And yeah, just look at this. In order to try and capitalize on that early rush, Ketroc is going for a third command center on location. Now, this is the kind of thing that you can do against a bot like Caninana, which is generally a little too safe, not greedy enough, not aggressive enough at times. However, Caninana does send in a scouting link to see what's going on, so there is potential that it may be able to get that, or may be able to get a bit aggressive. We shall see. Generally, though, it is a pretty reliable macro Zerg bot, so Ketroc, I think, will probably get away with this ridiculous greed. It's only on 28 SCVs, yet the third command center is just about done, and so that number will continue to grow once that production increases. No planetary, no orbital yet at the natural or the third base, of course. So that'll be an interesting decision by Ketroc, which we should see made soon, and it looks like it will be a planetary at the natural. So Ketroc is electing to go the defensive route, and that will slow down its economy a bit. The fact that it's not making orbitals and mules to give it an economic boost, but still, though, the Terran bot is in a phenomenal position here. And yeah, let's just see. We've got that third command center mining away. No orbital yet. I imagine that the way that it works based off this is if there's enough resources, it'll probably make the orbital or the planetary, otherwise queue up an SCV. And let's see, do we get a planetary? Not yet, as there's the gas being spent on other things, which is a bit of a bottleneck for Ketroc right now. No gases at that natural base. but lots and lots of minerals being brought in. And we do actually have a 4th command center on the way, on location as a result. So these bot games can go from 0 to 100 or 100 to 0, I guess, as we had a bit of a aggressive move from the Terran, and then just macro, just workers mainly. And let's see, no planetary at that 3rd yet, as I believe it is 150 minerals, 150 gas for a planetary. Don't quote me on that, though. I'm a Terran player. I should really know that one, but it's one of those things. You don't really look at the price. You're like, yes, give me that planetary. And so Ketroc does just solidify the defenses with that. A 4th command center just finishing up. A 5th command center done. Well, at the 4th, pardon me, a 5th on the way in the main. And yeah, this is one of the very cool things about Ketroc's bot. The fact that it's like, yeah, build the first 4 on location, or the first 3, I guess, but then build the next one, build it inside the main base. We can always float it over. So that's very reasonable behavior, because I guess going further out, it's a bit more risky. Who knows? It may try and build some more on location later on. For now, though, we are seeing a 4th go up for Caninana. Lots of spore crawlers have to be produced now, though, as the Banshee reveals itself. Queens are pathing out there in order to try and push this away. There is no spore completed yet at the natural, but it shouldn't be done. Well, it shouldn't take too long to finish up here, and then we do just see the drones burrowing in order to be safe. Ketroc then says, enemy Zerg, drone burrowed, prioritizing detection. Now, let's see, this Banshee harassing a little bit, but the Queens of Caninana are doing a good job pushing that away. Meanwhile, the Zerg bot is mining lots and lots of gas right now. So this really is just a very honorable macro game. But then you look at it and you think, okay, Ketroc slowed its economy down at the start with that cheese. But with the speed mining, I mean, we've already got 5, 6 command centers done, triple starport, soon to be quad starport production going, 72 SCVs. And that is definitely a result of the speed mining and just the machine-like macro that these bots do. So Viking production on the way is a little bit interesting from Ketroc, as it's not like there's really any air units from Caninana yet, so maybe they'll go overlord hunting or just try and deal with these overseers. This is one of the key features of Caninana. The way that it uses its overseers and the amount that it produces, it just constantly has them poking and prodding to provide it with vision, but then there's such a quick unit, overseers, with pneumatized carapace, that they actually can just escape from most danger. So they can kind of just be an all-present scout for the Zerg for very little cost. They don't eat up supply. Vikings may shut that down, though, as they are coming forward. Auto turrets even to kill off that one overseer. So we'll see if these other ones end up in trouble. We do still have the odd Banshee harassing, but this game is definitely going to go into the late game at this point. I think it's safe to say, if we're not already there. Look at this, so many starports, 7 starports up for the Terran, soon to be 9. We are getting a Spire, lots of spores going up for Caninana. I do like that, the extra spores to deal with the harassment. A few swarm hosts getting started up. The main thing, though, that kind of dictates whether Caninana wins a game, though, is usually based off its crazy good infestor usage. So we'll see whether there's going to be any good fungals coming up or not. For now, there is a blocked expansion of Ketroc, but it's just expanding elsewhere, taking both corner bases, taking its center base. So really just the couple bases blocked by the Lings are the only location Ketroc isn't trying to expand to. It's got so much money that it's building 4 command centers on location around the map. It can then turn these into planetaries and lock these locations down. Now, we have seen epic Caninana versus Ketroc games at first, and this is the beauty of Caninana. It's not the greediest bot, but if you do let it sort of just have a decent economy and build up a big army, it will be very difficult to beat because those infestors get incredible value. So we're really going to have to keep keep our eyes peeled for infestor usage. For now, though, we do have a corruptor caustic spraying on a command center, starting that out early, but this CC can just be canceled and potentially restarted. There's the cancel, and there's the restart, but it's actually not the same SCV, which means that could be a potential improvement for Ketroc. Not assigning that worker seems to be a little bit bizarre, and yeah, let's see. We do have Lings coming in for Caninana to attack on the front. Banshees in the skies are working to drive them away. Ketroc really wants to get all these bases turning into planetaries, because planetaries are so difficult for your opponent to deal with, and even if they can just lock down a base for a while, it will be very problematic. Banshees are working away on these roaches as this game is already starting to heat up. I guess the Lings were just burrowing to avoid the Banshee, but now Lings and a Corruptor do find this other building command center, so that's potentially going to die. This one's being delayed. Caninana is shutting down some of the expansions of Ketroc, although the Lings seem to be distracted going for the SCVs. That may let the PF finish, which could potentially be repaired or at least drive off any future threats, but who knows, maybe this Corruptor will just be an MVP. An SCV is coming into repair, but I don't think that one SCV can out-repair a Corruptor, and there's actually no repair going down yet. The SCV's a little too late, so that is a massive kill for Caninana, as that base was right on its doorstep, so shutting that down means Ketroc will probably not take that base again due to the creep spread, just securing that location for the Zerg. While this is going on, though, we do have the ridiculously high Banshee count on the map for Ketroc, just picking off these roaches. The Raven being present means the roaches are just dying as Caninana loses those units. We'll see if they get replaced or not as this game goes on. The fleet, or the air armada for Ketroc, is looking mighty fine, though. Lots of Banshees, lots of Vikings out. 3-3 upgrades almost done. Caninana does have its upgrades still rolling, but it's severely lacking air upgrades. There's actually no air upgrades that have been researched. There's one Spire turning into a greater Spire, but yeah, double Spire might be a good thing for the Zerg. Although, I mean, at the same time, Caninana doesn't exactly have a huge bank, which means that double Spire might be unobtainable as far as the upgrades go. Roaches are being rebuilt after all these ones have died already, so that is not ideal. Trying to track these Banshees is ridiculous, but look at this. We've got a bit of a choke point here on Interloper. Anything that moves through this line of sight blocker could be in trouble from the Banshees. We'll see if there's going to be a fungal or not. Looks like the Banshees do have some of the paint scratched off them, and there's a nice fungal by Caninana catching a decent number of the Banshees, but they do just retreat. They can potentially be repaired if they get too low in HP. I think that may have been a knurled Viking, by the way, as Banshees are still poking forward. Lots and lots of Queens planted like potatoes, waiting for an Overseer to provide vision to fight the Banshees, as Ketroc does still have more bases than its opponent. We've got to keep eyes on whether there's things like the odd Corruptor caustic spraying a base that's not being dealt with, as Banshees are coming on in, picking off Hydras. The trades right now are actually quite good for Ketroc, but as the Zerg evolves, gets the final upgrades, things may pivot in the favor of Caninana in the long run. Both these bots are maxed out. Ketroc does have more of an income and a bigger bank presently, though, but it is going into mass Ravens, so that could potentially change things as well. As, I mean, Ravens, they don't kill units as quickly. They can potentially get more efficiency over time, but these Banshees, they are getting some solid pickoffs for now, so it almost makes me wonder if Ketroc would be better off not building this many Ravens and just sticking with the Banshees, although it is scary to do that against Infestors, but Caninana only has 4 Infestors, I say. I mean, only 4, but they can potentially kill lots of units. Still, though, I think more Infestors would be good for Caninana, and we'll just have to see how these Ravens do as time goes on. I mean, it also is one of those things when it comes to programming a bot. You want, like, lots of these bots are stylistically based. It's not necessarily that a bot author sitting down and thinking, what would be the most optimal strategy to program into my bot? There's a lot of fun that goes into programming them and wanting to pick fun strategies to program and watch your bot play. We do have a fungal go down, a couple neural parasites stealing Vikings from Ketroc, so those are units that will betray the Terrans and then fight for the Zergs. Banshees, Ravens, and Vikings still constantly poking the front. Caninana did lose this one hatchery, so that's a big deal. The planetaries for Ketroc are standing strong, and I guess consider me corrected that I said Ketroc would probably never get this base, but the Terran has cleared the creep out and is actually looking to expand there, cleaning out more of these creep tumors, so it can potentially even expand over here. It's just incredibly greedy, but who knows, maybe it can bully Caninana away. As time goes on, though, Caninana does seem to be building up a little bit of a bank, which will benefit it. Upgrades are still rolling. It's going to be a long, long time until we see those that 3-3, but look at that. A fungal catches some of the Banshees. This base attempt was canceled. Both these bots are trying to expand here, though it's actually a race, SCV versus drone. SCV will win that as Ketroc continues to push on the front. Resources lost are still in favor of the Terran, which is a very, very good sign as far as the longevity of this game goes. Hydras are picking off some Vikings, but there's just so many anchor points for the Terran that Caninana may eventually have to get through. And we do see this base actually getting secured, though, as Caninana pushes Ketroc off, double expanding. So taking all but its corner base, which it currently does have occupied by the Terran, but watching whether Caninana can potentially kill off that corner base or another base of Ketroc would be very, very important for the longevity of this game. But I really have no idea how it's going to play out in the long run. Previous matches I've cast between these two bots have been on a razor edge margin for both of them. We do have roaches still constantly poking. These ones are not getting such great efficiency, as I mean, Ravens are revealing them, Banshees are shooting them, so that is a bit of a money sink for the Zerg bot. Lings are running around looking for some harassment, which is very cool programming from the bot author of Caninana to have units sectioning off like that. Unfortunately, they are terrible, absolutely horrendous against Planetary Fortress. Now, Hydras still poking on in against the Banshees. Looks like Ketroc does have a lot of its Ravens and Vikings actually going home to be repaired, which does take some of the heat off the Zerg and allows Caninana to apply a bit of its own pressure. We'll have to keep eyes on this as the Zerg bot is starting to mine from this other base, but no spore crawlers are present there, so they could potentially be harassed. Looks like Lings and a Corruptor are teaming up to try and break this planetary. Lings targeting down the SCVs as the Corruptor goes for the caustic spray. That does actually mean that there will be nothing to repair this planetary, so the Corruptor may be able to kill it. That is really good for Caninana, and it does seem to like just having like one Corruptor caustic spray a planetary, and I wonder if that's intentional or just a side effect of the programming of the Corruptors being rather independent. It's not like there's a ton of Corruptors, there's literally two. But yeah, Ketroc may lose this planetary. The Corruptor deals so much damage. Is there going to be another SCV to repair this base? The answer is no. So that base falls. Caninana may be able to expand there. The SCV immediately says we will rebuild. Caninana says, no, you won't. As now the Ravens, the Banshees are on the defensive as the Zerg bot is looking to turn this around. I mean, we do have to look at it, though. Ketroc did mine a significant number of resources from this base. Definitely not an insignificant amount. And then if it can just hold on to its own bases, that could be in its favor. Yeah, like, look at this. A fresh geyser is 2250, whereas this one's only got 1200. This one's just also at 1200 as well. So half those geysers were mined by Ketroc. That is a lot of money out of the pocket of Caninana if it even secures that base, and a lot of money into Ketroc's pocket. Now, resources lost is 24,000 to 18,000, so the gap is closing a little bit, I believe, but still a nice lead for the Terran, so we'll have to see if Caninana can get some of those great fungals that it's known for. The Corruptors are, well, not very high in number and also quite useless against this many Vikings, so well, partly because of the upgrades too. Neural Parasite does hit a Viking. We do have Swarm Host coming on in as Locust coming on in as Swarm Hosts being independently controlled are constantly tossing out their tiny wave of Locusts. This base in the upper right is being watched by an Overseer, so we'll see if Caninana attempts to expand there. Ketroc wanted to build a base, but I guess the SCV probably got killed off from the seam of it. So yeah, some SCVs being rallied to their death with those Lings in a great position there. The fight constantly going on between these two. A Fungal catches only a few Banshees. Another Fungal goes down, catches some more of the Banshees. We do see one of them perish. We'll pull up the actual total dead. It's currently 15 dead Banshees, 19 dead Vikings, but so many Roaches, Lings, and Hydras have perished. To counter that, now some nice Fungals have hit these Ravens, and Banshees injured quite a few of them up. That upper right base is still up for grabs, but the Lings are really still denying this as one Ling remains, and it is going to kill off that SCV. That is actually really nice for Caninana, as this Ling will just keep eating the SCVs that are rallied out. Caninana tries to break this planetary in the center of the map, though. That would have been a big move for the Zerg, but the repair, the units repositioning, does force the Zerg away. We've now got Lings and Roaches cleaning out this location in the upper right as Caninana looks to secure it. Ketroc, oh, pardon me. I almost want to rewind. Ketroc at some point lost this base. Either that or it never had it. Pardon my lack of attention to that. Let's see, how much has it been mined? Okay, it has been mined a decent amount, so Ketroc must have had it and lost it at some point while I was distracted, so that's a big deal that Caninana was able to kill that base. An equally big deal if Ketroc is able to re-secure it. There's just so much that goes on in these bot games that makes them very fun to watch, but a bit of a nightmare to observe. I do appreciate your guys' feedback on the observing, that kind of thing, though. I try and not jump around too much and zoom out a fair bit. But, yeah, let's see. Fungal's going down, not quite getting any significant catches. There's still a good number of SCVs to repair this planetary, but we do see Hydras and Roaches coming on in. Still, though, Caninana does back off this base. Oh, it might have been a Corruptor that killed it, pardon me. That would make sense why I didn't really take note of it. And it's being caustic sprayed once again, so some SCVs will need to repair that. Auto turrets getting thrown down as the skirmish continues on. But yeah, SCVs will need to keep healing up this PF to keep it alive. Then we do have, let's see, Vikings flying around, Banshees flying around. Not much harassment being done to Caninana. The Zerg goes for another aggressive move, trying to break this PF. It is being repaired. 152 kills on that planetary as it gobbles up those Locusts, but in come the Roaches from Caninana once again. There's not that many SCVs here, so they are targeted down quite quickly, and Caninana will clean out this base and potentially even be able to steal it from Ketroc, and there is a lot of resources at that base, so Ketroc losing that is a big deal. If we look at the bank, it is massively in favor of Ketroc, but yeah, I mean, there is lots of money on the map still to be up for grabs. This base is being assaulted once again. SCV is being pulled. Very cool repair behavior from Ketroc as it sort of sequentially pulls off SCVs as the damage and the HP of the PF continues to drop. Very smart repairing behavior. Now Banshees are coming in, going to cancel that base. Ketroc saying, if I can't have it, you certainly can't. Good Fungal hits a lot of the Ravens there, but still the PF in the center of the map holds firm. Ketroc has lost 169 SCVs. That is a huge amount of SCVs. I mean, that's, oh gosh, that's got to be almost like, what, 7,500 minerals or something worth of yeah, it's a lot of resources lost in SCVs, that's for sure. Now, the Zerg is going to try and break this PF once again, so those SCVs need to get off their break and start repairing. I guess they weren't on break, they were just mining away. I'm sorry to judge you, SCVs. Okay, now they're on break as they sort of sit there as the Zerg gobbles them up. Auto turrets getting thrown down, Banshees cutting them up, but that is 2 critical bases being lost by Ketroc as Caninana just continues to secure the bases. We're really seeing this dynamic between these two in which Ketroc starts strong, it's very greedy, but still maintaining bases over time against Caninana's attacks is a little bit difficult. Now, there is still potential that Ketroc may be able to strike back or re-secure one of these bases. That could be important. Lots of mules were being dropped, trying to secure any money that could be secured from that base. We've got Lings attacking an orbital command. It may actually die. It does lift off after it finishes its SCV production. Now, there is a Banshee still flying around, but the Corruptor and Overseer are doing a beautiful job defending that. And let's see, more Banshees flying around. A Corruptor chases them away, but Vikings do come on in as this hatchery is being hit. Ketroc really needs to prevent Caninana from taking these bases, even if it can't hold on to them itself, and it really can't, as Caninana will bring down another one of the Terran's bases. This base was rather mined out, but like, still, these are 3 very important bases. Like, this one's still quite fresh as far as the minerals is concerned. And this one even has a decent amount too, so we're gonna have to keep eyes on this. Ketroc has a healthy bank to burn through before it really gets desperate. Lots of Banshees are being produced. We're now seeing Banshees hit the upper right. There isn't a Corruptor to just scare them away like it's nothing. So Caninana may lose another base, but then the Banshees reposition as Caninana goes in for yet another attack. It is just hell-bent on killing all the planetaries of Ketroc as roaches even circle this other base. But still, though, the Terran does hold on to this location. We've got the cool support Medivac flying around, healing SCVs. Still, though, yes, Ketroc not killing off this base in the upper right is a big lost opportunity. And looks like the Banshees do one-shot a hatchery of Caninana. That's some nice value lost for the Zerg. Resources lost. It's 51,000 lost to 35,000. So Ketroc is still playing the more efficient game. It just can't hold on to its bases. And yeah, I mean, if it can hold on or take another couple bases, that would potentially give it the life it needs in order to outlast Caninana. But with the way things are, that's not going to be easy. It does pick off that hatchery once again. Really nicely done, grabbing a spore, picking off some more units. And that is Defender's advantage potentially coming into effect, as the Terran doesn't have to strike out very far to shut down those bases of the Zerg. We do see Caninana attempting another one. Ketroc immediately comes in with the Banshees, cancels it. Looks like the Roaches are making a play for the bottom left. There's barely any money here, but there is enough, I guess, to technically pay for a base. But really not much at all. Another attempt at a command center does get shut down. Ketroc isn't floating over any command centers or anything like that. And the income really has plummeted. There's literally no gas mining for Ketroc at this point, so it does need another base. Every Raven that it loses is going to be a big deal with no more gas income. A Fungal catches some of them. Neural Parasite as well, throwing down an auto turret. And yeah, let's see, mules are long-distance mining with mass muling going down on those bases. The Zerg does come to step on in. Banshees fly forward. They are a little bit afraid of the Hydras, though, but I think they should be able to clean these up and get some good pickoffs. Vikings working away on the Corruptors. Caninana did eventually get 3-3 for the Corruptors, which is a big deal. But yeah, look at this. Ketroc is down to just 2 barely mining bases as Caninana has cleaned out. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it killed off this base too and this base, so it's killed like 5, 6 bases this game. That really is impressive by the Zerg bot. Ketroc still has a huge bank to burn through, but I mean, it's only got 17 SCVs remaining, so it's building its supply into mass Ravens, so the army size is going to be ginormous for Ketroc, so maybe that's going to change the math quite literally as far as how confident the Terran bot is to take these engagements, because a lot of these bots build their army calculations and whether they should take a fight or not based off whether they have more supply than their opponent, I believe. So Ketroc definitely will meet those requirements as it flies to the bottom left and kills off a base of Caninana. This just fleet is ginormous. Holy cow, this is so much Terran. This is ridiculous. 42 Ravens, 26 Banshees, and 9 Vikings. And I'm not sure Caninana can muster anything to defeat this, probably other than some good fungals. It does have energy on a few of those infestors, but I definitely would like to see more of those. The Zerg bot is starting to lose drones, though, and not really replace them. They're both just building tons of army. We do have a couple command centers being built now. Where's the other one? Okay, one in the bottom left, one at the lower position. So Ketroc expanding to the location that's not very flush with resources, but still Ravens throwing down auto turrets en masse, picking off whatever they can. They are eating damage, though. That will cost money to repair, but look at that. Caninana loses the base in the upper right, and I just can't believe how close this game is. The villainous Corruptor returns to Caustic Spray, yet another command center. I think best case for Ketroc is that it cancels that at this point. Although there is lots of SCVs coming in to potentially repair. Banshees are seeking another base of Caninana, and Caninana's income has really, really dropped here. It's not mining many minerals at all, as it was actually starting to depend on these other bases. And yeah, the Zerg bot is all of a sudden really just out of cash. It's only mining like 700 minerals a minute. I mean, Ketroc's mining basically not at all, frantically trying to build a planetary, but the SCVs are going down. This base in the bottom left did not complete. So it's, well, I was going to say it's Caninana's potential low income versus Ketroc's bank, but Ketroc is looking to bring in some more money with those mass mules. We do have Vikings kind of cornered in the top of the map. Neural parasites go down on them. The Vikings are like, what do we do? They really don't know what to do here as they do fall. That is a lot of resources lost for Ketroc still. It's 68,000 to 44,000, and man, oh man, these Ketroc versus Caninana games always deliver. Base in the bottom left is probably going to be canceled, as neither of these bots can seemingly keep up an expansion at this point. The army supply of Ketroc is just ginormous, and it kind of, once it made the extra Ravens, it really just started to go on a tear. We see the Zerg army fleeing underneath all these Banshees and Ravens. More Ravens are coming around, killing off some Lings with auto turrets. That's quite nice. Ketroc, I think it would be nice at this point to see it build a command center inside its main base. I mean, it wouldn't, I mean, it's difficult to change that behavior, but I think that would be something cool to see. Sort of make it like, say, hey, every third expansion attempt or something, try building one in the main, because clearly this ain't working. Although, I mean, it did technically get this base up. It just never turned into a planetary. Anyway, the Zerg bot is starting to fall in supply. Vikings shooting away, Banshees flying around. Neural parasites do catch a few of those Vikings, suddenly turning them into foes. As Ketroc doesn't want to kill its own unit, though, and keeps that alive. Caninana only has 3 infestors. It's got barely any minerals in its bank, so it can't even really spend its gas, or it isn't. I would love to see it spend that gas in infestors, but it would need so many fungals to kill off this many Terran units. I think Ketroc may just be able to outlast the now broke Caninana, as the Terran is maintaining a presence. But look at that. Another neural parasite grabs a Viking. Viking versus Viking. And, I mean, that's getting some damage done. Banshees, though, flying around, picking off hatcheries. There is quite a few queens of Caninana trying to respond. The Zerg bot is doing long-distance mining, at least, which is good to see. Ketroc is down to 6 SCVs, which is a measly amount. Once again, the Terran bot does decide to try and expand, though, and this time I'm not sure Caninana will be able to interrupt this one. It's just so busy on the defense. Its army supply has really fallen. Unlimited energy queens fighting unlimited energy ravens. Who knows how long that could go on. But yes, Ketroc trying to re-expand is quite important. The Zerg is moving out, but yeah, I'm not sure Caninana will be able to secure up another base against all of these Ravens, all of these Banshees. It's 48 Ravens, 25 Banshees, 3 Vikings. There is actually 18 SCVs now, so Ketroc has rebuilt a few of them, constantly trying to re-expand. Lings are doing work still, denying some of these attempts, but this one's got to be close to finishing, and it is. So Ketroc may strike out and take another base, and then Caninana's supply is just falling. I think things are really trending in favor, but there's the Caustic Spray Corruptor. Does get interrupted again. I believe it is a different Corruptor, not the same Corruptor, but still very good Corruptors nonetheless. Long distance mining being interrupted. Ketroc even stealing money from Caninana. Caninana's got a few infestors out, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, click that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. If you do enjoy these daily casts, I don't know how long I've been doing them at this point, but it's been a while since we missed a video. And if you want to help support that, consider becoming a YouTube member. Currently, my plan is to go back to school in September, but yeah, I definitely will try and keep the YouTube going, and everyone's support is appreciated. Now, I think it's just a matter of waiting at this point. We've got Caninana, like, it's always getting little pickoffs, though. Even if it doesn't have much, it's like, yeah, I'll kill a Raven with its own auto turret, which has just got to be a little bit insulting to the Raven. Ketroc, though, 200 supply, now mining once again, securing planetary after planetary as it retakes these bases. Well done, showing great redundancy, and Caninana is just so broke. It's not really mining much. It's long distance mining a little bit, but then it's like, hey, I need a spine crawler against all these air units. I think it just built one of those. And yeah, it is really great to see that Caninana and Ketroc do have so many good back and forth games, and the result is never determined. Like, you never know. These two have really, really close matches. I would be curious to look up the statistics, but I almost don't want to do that to spoil it for myself. As, yeah, you really never know with these two. Auto turrets and Banshees slowly cleaning everything out. Ketroc even building an orbital at one of these bases, which is just raw confidence. Very interesting how it's like, yeah, that one can be an orbital. Maybe it just doesn't detect a threat anymore from Caninana, which is kind of rightly so. Neural parasite on a Viking. Couple neural parasites, actually. That's just the thing, man. Caninana's like, I'm not out of this one yet. Lands the Vikings. Kills them off. Fungal growth. The Terran now taking the upper right. Looking to eye up this base. It's a very, very slow death. I think we will fast forward a little bit at this point. A very close game. Really interesting dynamic between these two. And yeah, just a very slow death at this point for Caninana. Very cinematic, though. Of course, there's another fungal before Caninana throws in the towel. Mule message. Oh, we actually even had a GG. Look at that. That's not something we get every game from Ketroc, but a very cool feature. Re-typing it out into easy. I do like when these bots have a little bit of character. Making a heart, a Pac-Man. Is the Pac-Man the final message, or do we get another one? Looks like that's the last message. Ketroc, if you make it, spell out subscribe. That would be pretty good. I'll see you guys next time.